Welcome to the rapid-fire game that puts high school students on the academic playing field. It's WHIO. Here's your host, Mike Hartsock.
Hey, thanks for joining us again, and welcome to our second round of WHIO. Last week we played our opening round playoff game. Brookville down on the bottom row, advancing on with a win over Wayne. They now today take on our #1 seed, the Beavercreek Beavers, in the second round game. The other two teams still left, Vandalia Butler and Bell Fountain, will square off next week. $4,000 on the line in scholarship money to our championship team coming up later on in a few weeks down the road. But today we've got two good ones. Beavercreek on the top row, Brookville down on the bottom row, and let's get right to it. 4 rounds of competition is our game. In the opening round, each question worth 10 points. If the team that correctly buzzes in and gives the correct answer gets the 10 points. If they incorrectly answer, the other team can steal with the correct answer and take those points away. So teams, if you're ready, here we go. Hands on buzzers. Here's your first toss-up question. In physics, the tendency for objects at rest to remain at rest, Kevin from Beavercreek.
Inertia.
Is called inertia. That's correct. Judaism, Islam, and Christianity agree that giving 1/10 of one's annual income. Joe from Beavercreek.
Tithing.
Tithing is correct. In what year did Adolf Hitler and his National Socialist Workers' Party take power in Germany? Mark from Brookville.
1933.
1933 is correct for 10 points. Okay, look at your monitors now. This man has been a superstar for the NBA's Chicago Bulls until his retirement this year. Where did Michael Jordan... Josh from Brookville.
North Carolina.
He went to the University of North Carolina. That is correct. This bone is a column of separate bones called vertebrae. Joe from Beavercreek.
The spinal cord.
No. Let me finish the question for Brookville. It supports the head and encases the spinal cord. What is the collective name for this bone? Emily from Brookville.
Spine.
It's the spine. That's correct for 10 points. This song, a recasting of a poem by Robert Burns, is almost always sung. Kevin from Beavercreek.
Old Lang Syne.
Old Lang Syne. It's always sung at midnight at New Year's Eve. In chemistry, this is a type of structure most commonly found in solid materials in which atoms are linked together and held in a rigid tinker toy arrangement. What's this called? Kevin from Beavercreek.
Lattice.
Lattice structure is correct for 10 points. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, the poem has them replying. How many bags of wool did they have? Sunna from Beavercreek.
3 bags full.
3 bags full is correct for 10 points. She wrote books about children and for children. 2 of her most famous were entitled Little Men and the other, Emily from Brookville.
Louisa May Alcott.
Louisa May Alcott, Little Women is correct. Another author, this time a male, wrote in the 1800s mostly about poor boys who worked hard and became rich as a result of their work and good attitudes. Steve from Beavercreek.
Charles Dickens.
That's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. Who is this author? Horatio Alger is the correct answer. This is a method of proof in math in which a statement is proved for one step in a process, and it is shown that if the statement holds for that step, it holds for the next. What is this method called? Joe from Beavercreek.
Deductive.
No, that's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. Josh.
Transitive.
Mathematical induction was what we were looking for. This is the harvest festival for Judaism, and it also symbolizes the huts in which the Jews lived during their journey from Egypt. What's its name? Joe from Beavercreek.
Passover.
No, that's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. Josh.
Rosh Hashanah.
No, Sukkoth. That's what we were looking for. Jean-Jacques Rousseau wrote that the governmental organization should be based on the general will of a society and should conform to Josh from Brookville.
Social contract.
The social contract is correct. It started in October of 1929 with the crash of the stock market. Kevin from Beavercreek.
The Great Depression.
Great Depression is correct for 10 points. It is the branch of philosophy that is concerned with the nature and origin of knowledge. A typical question, Joe from Beavercreek.
Epistemology.
That is correct for 10 points. Better you say that than me, Joe. It was February 25th, 1836, when Samuel Colt received the patent for this new invention. Josh from Brookville.
The peacemaker pistol.
A revolver, a pistol. That is correct for 10 points. Less than 15 years ago, in 1986, Corazon Aquino became the president. Beavercreek, Steve.
Of the Philippines after the overthrow of Ferdinand Marcos.
Okay. Ferdinand Marcos was the answer we were looking for, but all of that tied in. Okay. What world event was happening in 1991 when 28 American service personnel, Josh from Brookville.
Desert Storm. Operation Desert Shield Storm.
Okay. Yeah, the Persian Gulf War. Same thing. In 1793, President George Washington invited all of the new government's department heads to meet with him in his home. This became the first meeting of what is today known as Kevin from Beavercreek.
Cabinet.
It's known as the Cabinet, that's correct. In 1919, the state of Oregon became the first state to tax this specific consumer product. Yep, didn't get that one out. So round one in the books in our second round playoff game between Beavercreek and Brookville. It's a tight one. The Beavers over the Blue Devils 90-70. Back with more right after this. Welcome back to High Q. We're in our second round playoff game today between our number one seed Beavercreek and the Brookville Blue Devils. Beavercreek on top 90-70 after one round. But before we get any more action, let's meet our two teams today. Starting out on the top row from Beavercreek, Kevin, you lead us off.
I'm Kevin Miller. I'm a senior. I'm Joey DeLong, and I'm a junior.
I'm Sana Bobber, and I graduate this year.
Hello, my name's Steve Fiore, and I'm a sophomore.
Okay. Down on the bottom row from Brookville, Josh, do the honors for us.
Josh Dalton, a senior. Mark Merca, senior. Adam Merca, freshman.
Emily Dill, senior.
All righty. And birthday wishes to Emily and Sana. Emily's was a few days ago. Sana's is coming up, I think, right? Or did I switch that? I got that right. Okay. So a couple of birthday girls here on our panel. It's now time to play our extra credit round, our bonus round. We'll ask 10-point toss-up questions. The team that correctly answers the question then gets bonus questions for as much as 30 points, 3 extra questions if they can keep answering them. Teams, here we go. Hands on buzzers. Here's your first toss-up. These bones help shield the organs in the lower abdomen. Steve from Beavercreek.
The ribs.
Now, that's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Brookville. They help shield the organs in the lower abdomen, and they carry the weight of the body. What are they called, Emily?
Pelvic bones.
No. We were looking for hip bones. That's what we were looking for. Another 10-point toss-up. It was in 1922 that all but 6 Protestant counties in the northeast corner of this island became an independent nation. Joe from Beavercreek.
Northern Ireland, also known as Ulster.
No. Okay, let me finish the question for Brookville. But all but 6 Protestant counties in the northeast corner of this island became an independent nation, no longer under British control. What was the new nation called, Brookville? Josh.
Northern Ireland.
Well, the answer we were looking for was Ireland.
All but 6 counties.
All but 6 counties. Another 10-point toss-up. He was the first American composer to combine classical music forms with jazz and folk music. Rhapsody in Blue is a good example. Josh from Brookville.
Gershwin.
George Gershwin is correct, and bonus question is for the Blue Devils. All of these events took place in one year, 1893 to be specific. For 5 points, the famous medical school of this Baltimore University was begun.
Johns Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins is correct. For 10 points, he published his new book, Maggie, a Girl of the Streets.
Dickens.
No, he was Stephen Crane. Another 10-point toss-up question. Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy became very famous all over the world, and especially in the United States, after 1927 because of their work in the field of entertainment. Were they musicians, sports stars, or Josh from Brookville?
Comedians.
They were film comedians. That's correct for 10 points, and bonus questions for Brookville. Many people like to travel in order to see new places and meet new people. Brookville, how well do you know these travel terms? For 5 points, MPG means what to a driver?
Miles per gallon.
Correct. For 10 points, ETA means what to a traveler?
Estimated time of arrival.
That's correct. And for 15 points, MPH means what to a driver?
Miles per hour.
That is correct. 3 out of 3. Nice job. Another 10-point toss-up question. The first 5 books of the Bible have a special name within Judaism. Joe from Beavercreek.
The Talmud.
That's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. What are these first books called in Judaism? Called the Torah. Another 10-point toss-up. Name the 5 books of the Torah and do so in order of their appearance. Josh from Brookville.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Nice job. That's 10 points and bonus questions for Brookville. Here we go. What do each of these trios of people have in common with each other? Brookville for 5 points. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and J.T. Snow.
They're all baseball players.
They're baseball players. For 10 points, Jeff Courtnall, Chris Osgood, and Radek Bonk.
They're all hockey players.
They're hockey players. And for 15 points, Michael Schumacher, Mika Hakkinen, and Danon Hill.
Race car drivers.
They're all race car drivers. Nice job. 3 out of 3. Another 10-point toss-up question. This amendment to our Constitution assures citizens of just compensation when government needs to take our property. Which amendment are we talking about? When the government needs to take the property. Joe from Beavercreek.
7th.
That's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. Mark.
The 4th.
No, the 5th. Nice try. The largest city in New Mexico is not its capital of Santa Fe. Steve from Beavercreek.
Albuquerque, it's on the Rio Grande River.
No, that's incorrect. You didn't go far enough. Brookville, let me finish the question. The city is Albuquerque. Spell Albuquerque. Josh.
Albuqueure.
That's wrong. Albuqueure. Another 10-point toss-up. This condition is a loss of memory, especially brought on Josh from Brookville.
Amnesia.
Amnesia is correct, and bonus questions for the Blue Devils again. Definitions are essential to a good vocabulary. See if you know these words based upon their definitions. For 5 points, nearsightedness, hard to see things far away.
Short-sighted.
No, myopia is what we were looking for. Another 10-point toss-up. Name the composer of the famous oratorio, The Messiah. Sunna from Beavercreek.
Mendelssohn?
No, that's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. Emily.
Handel.
Handel is correct, and you do get your bonus questions, Brookville. National leaders are often found to be major newsmakers. For 5 points, what nation is led by Boris Yeltsin?
Russia.
Russia is correct. For 10 points, what nation has Nelson Mandela as its leader?
South Africa.
That's correct. And for 15 points, what nation is led by Hosni Mubarak?
Oman.
No, Egypt. 2 out of 3, not bad. Okay, that's the end of our second round. Let's check out the score midway through this second round game. Brookville's got a big lead, 210-90. Good round for the Blue Devils, but plenty of time for the Beavers to catch up. Okay, we are halfway home in our second round playoff game. Today's game between our #1 seed Beavercreek and the Brookville Blue Devils. Brookville with a commanding lead right now, 210-90, and kind of feel like I'm at a rodeo. He's got the bolo tie on and the cowboy belt here, and it's all Nebraska stuff. Dr. Jim Upoff joins us.
Well, it's spring football season for the Cornhuskers. They're back. Glad to have you both teams. Good luck here in the semifinals.
All righty, thank you very much, and it's rapid fire time now in High Q. Each team will get 1 minute to answer as many 10-point questions as they can. Any questions they incorrectly answer or pass on, the other team can give the correct answer and steal those points away. Beavercreek, you're trailing right now. You'll have first choice. Will it be F.A., Wise, or Biz? What's it going to be?
I think Wise.
Wise. Okay. Listen closely. Brookville, you have a chance to steal. These are the beginnings of 15 wise or proverbial statements. See how many you can correctly complete within 1 minute. Here we go. Let bygones
Be bygones.
When the cat's away.
My play.
Comparisons are.
Pass.
Everybody talks about the weather, but.
The weatherman.
That's incorrect. Frailty. Thy name is.
Woman.
correct. Imitation is
The senior sport of flattery.
correct. Give him enough rope and
He'll hang himself.
correct. God helps those who
help themselves.
Hitch your
To
wagon.
a star.
Little strokes fell.
Big oaks, great oaks.
Great oaks.
Correct. A friend in need is a
Friend in need.
A man is known by the
Many people he hangs around.
no, that's incorrect. Marry in haste, repent
And
at
leisure.
correct. The meek shall inherit
The earth.
and you can't make an omelet without
Cracking a
Eggs.
few eggs. Breaking a few eggs.
breaking eggs. Correct. That's 15 questions, 1, 2, 3 that you didn't get. Brookville will have a chance to steal those. Comparisons are odious. Everybody talks about the weather, but
The weather never changes.
no, nobody does anything about it. And a man is known by the company he keeps. Okay, Brookville's turn to play. Beavercreek's turn to listen up. Is it going to be Biz or F.A.?
FA.
F.A. it is. Okay. These fine arts, F.A., are a significant part of our culture. Answer as many of these 15 F.A. questions as you can for 10 points each. Here we go. A wooden flute played like a whistle. It was popular about 300 years ago.
Fife.
Pardon me?
Fife.
No. A range of female singing voice lower than soprano but higher than alto.
Tenor.
That's incorrect. An elderly American woman artist painted childlike farm scenes.
Grandma Moses.
Correct. A sounding of 2 or more notes at the same time that sounds pleasant to the ear.
Pass.
Harmony.
I heard pass, I'm sorry. A building sculpture depicted grotesque human shapes or evil spirits in the Middle Ages.
Gargoyle.
Correct. A high-pitched woodwind played by blowing across a hole.
Flute.
Correct. A small ornamental structure rising from a roof, often a dome. A large marble statue of the Hebrew king who sang psalms.
Pass.
An opera by Rossini, main character is Figaro, a real schemer.
Barber of Seville.
Correct. A fast-paced dance of the 1920s. Didn't get that one? Okay, so 9 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you didn't get in Beavercreek. You will have a chance to steal those. A wooden flute played like a whistle. It was
Piccolo?
popular about 300 years ago.
Piccolo?
No, a recorder. A range of female singing voice lower than soprano but higher than alto.
Contralto.
No, mezzo-soprano was what we were looking for. A sounding of 2 or more notes at the same time that sounds pleasant to the ear.
Harmony.
Harmony is correct. A small ornamental structure rising from a roof, often a dome.
A minaret.
No, a couple of. And a large marble statue of the Hebrew king who sang psalms.
David.
David is correct. And that's the end of Rapid Fire. We're 3 rounds into this second round game. Check out the score before we go to break. It's close now again. Brookville leading Beavercreek 250 to 230. We're back with more right after this. We've got a good one going today on High Q. Second round competition between Beavercreek and Brookville. The Blue Devils lead the Beavers by 20 heading into our final exam. Each question worth 20 points, so possibility we might go down to the wire. If we do, we'll continue to ask questions in overtime. Teams, if you're ready, here we go. Your first toss-up question. The major long-standing basketball rivalry between Duke and North Carolina is made even more intense because these two schools are so close together. Josh from Brookville.
Chapel Hill and...
That's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Beavercreek. Is the distance between them less than 3, less than 7, or less than 10 miles away? Sunup.
Less than 7?
No, less than 10 miles, actually about 8 miles is what we are looking for. When a living body is said to grow or exist in the manner of a plant, what is the condition of that body said to be? Joe from Beavercreek.
Sessile.
No, it's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. Emily.
Vegetable.
No, vegetate or a vegetative state is what we were looking for. What do the names Chattahoochee, Snake, and Illinois? Kevin from Beavercreek.
They're all rivers.
They're all rivers in the United States. That's correct for 20 points. Okay, look at your studio monitors again. This man is the grandson of a famous Ohio politician. In fact, He's rather famous now in his own right. Who is he and what position does he hold? Steve from Beavercreek.
Bob Taft, and he's the governor.
Yes, about Governor of Ohio, correct for 20 points. In which basic American document does it say that if a government destroys happiness, Joe from Beavercreek?
Declaration of Independence.
It says that in the Declaration of Independence, correct for 20 points. Consuming self-absorption or self-love, Kevin from Beavercreek.
Narcissism.
Narcissism is correct for 20 points. What is the significance of the phrase 30 pieces of silver in the Christian sculptures? Josh from Brookville.
How much Judas sold Jesus out for?
Yeah, it's what Judas paid to betray Christ. That's correct for 20 points. This is the study of motion without reference to the influence. Kevin from Beavercreek.
Kinetics.
No. Let me finish the question for Brookville. This is the study of motion without reference to the influence of mass and force on motion. What is its name? Emily.
Applied kinetics.
Kinematics. That's what we were looking for. What is the name given to an organism which lives off of another organism? Steve from Beavercreek.
A parasite.
It's a parasite, correct. The FTC is charged with enforcing antitrust legislation and preventing false advertising, among other duties. What is the FTC? Sana from Beavercreek.
Federal Trade Commission.
That is correct for 20 points. Many products or goods decline in value over time. Such things as cars, TV sets, boats, lawnmowers have less value as time goes on. What is the process, Joe from Beavercreek?
Deflation.
No, it's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Brookville. What is this process of devaluing called, and then spell it? It's called depreciation. This term refers to a generalization, usually exaggerated or oversimplified. Kevin from Beavercreek.
Stereotype.
Stereotyping is correct for 20 points. Name the book that is used as the main guide on how to run a meeting effectively and fairly. Kevin from Beavercreek.
Miss Manner's Guide to Etiquette.
No, that's incorrect. Brookville, a chance to steal. You can guarantee that Miss Manners would know about Robert's Rules of Order, though. This type of law makes it illegal to require membership in a labor union as a qualification for holding a job. Kevin from Beavercreek.
Yellow dog contract.
No, let me finish the question. Less than 20 states currently have such a law. Brookville, what is it? Josh.
Antitrust law.
No, it's a right-to-work law is what we were looking for. Compensation that is demanded by a victorious nation from a defeated nation as a type of penalty. Adam from Brookville.
Indemnity.
No, that's incorrect. Let me finish the question for Beavercreek. He is known by what name? Germany had to pay big time after World War I. It's called reparations. Although some symptoms may be very real, this type of illness is more one of the mind. Sana from Beavercreek.
Psychosomatic.
Psychosomatic is correct for 20 points. This illness is very real. It involves inflammation of tissues in the joints. Kevin from Beavercreek.
Arthritis.
Arthritis is correct for 20 points. The stage of life your parents will be in when you and your siblings have all left home. Excuse me, Josh from Brookville.
Empty nest syndrome.
Empty nest syndrome is correct. The Temple of Solomon in Old Jerusalem has one wall still remaining. Steve from Beavercreek.
The Wailing Wall.
The Wailing Wall or the Western Wall. That is correct for 20 points. And that is the end of our game. We'll be back to check out the final score between Brookville and Beavercreek in just a minute. The second round of our playoffs is now history. Let's check out the scoreboard and see that our number one seed, Beavercreek, comes from behind to knock off Brookville today, 430 to 290. So that means that Beavercreek advances to the championship game. They will play the winner of next week's game between Vandalia Butler and Bell Fountain. And whoever wins that one takes home $4,000 in scholarship money. Thanks for joining us. See you next week for another game of WHIO.